It's hot like a yellow banana bell pepper. That's the new S5 from Audi. It's the first look at the Honda BRV that's coming next year. And the dark and ominous new model from Indian. Last week it was a glimpse of rural Pennsylvania, and today I come to you from the wonderful Rockies in Colorado. Welcome to the Car and Bike Show. I'm Siddharth Vinayak Patankar, and of course the reason I'm making this wonderful journey across the United States is because I am on the US leg of the Great Overland Adventure, the other show that you can catch up with Tuesdays at 8:30 p.m. But I know that you of course want to see that little yellow car that scorched the screen about 5 seconds ago. That is the new S5 from Audi. It steps into the market as a special, let's say, novelty car for Audi, but it's the car that will indicate whether or not we get the next generation of the A5 as well. That's a family that will debut globally in 2016. So to start things off, Audi decided that the S5, with its brutal power and a reasonably attractive price tag, deserves to come to India.
There is something to be said for the deeply satisfying feeling you get when the Audi S5 Sportback rumbles to life. The A5 has always been a favorite in terms of looks, but the coupe has never been able to offer the functionality of a sedan, and the S5 checks that box.
The S5 is a practical sedan with the wide and road-hugging stance, the aggressive front bumpers, the integrated rear spoiler and the side skirts. It's all about giving it a sporty look. But well, all this is understated elegance. What more could you ask for?
Well, many things could come to mind, but for now it is safe to say that everyone understands why Ameya feels that way. There is extensive use of chrome on the exterior, and the front grille's got the most detail. A platinum grey insert with horizontal chrome struts, and then there is the honeycomb grille on the air inlets with dual chrome trim and angular fog lights adding to the sporty theme. The exterior mirrors are also finished in aluminium, but while that may have worked on a red or black or even blue car, it looks a bit awkward on this stunning yellow. We do love the color choice from Audi India on this test car though. Now remember that the S brand of cars are performance cars, but they're not as powerful as the RS versions. They fall between the regular cars and the high performance ones, but that does not mean that you should underestimate them.
What makes the Audi S5 even more exciting is what's under the bonnet. It's a 3-litre V6 punching out 333 brake horsepower, but it's the torque figure of 440 Newton meters, which is available at just under 3000 RPM, which makes it even better because now, thanks to the DSG gearbox, the responsive DSG gearbox, that too, power is available at will. And that's what you want in a car like this. And that's why when you throw it on corners, well, it just puts a smile on your face, doesn't it? It does.
The car's chassis has the same suspension as the A5. That is a McPherson strut at the front with a torsion beam at the rear. But the S badge means that Audi has made it electronically adjustable. So you can just go into the Audi Drive Select mode and choose anything between comfort, auto, dynamic, efficiency and individual, and this helps you select between a soft and stiff ride. The Quattro all-wheel drive system is standard and allows you to grin ear to ear through corners. In the dynamic mode, you get a bit of an exhaust note too, which could have been rowdier, but it still works. The S5 is capable of going from 0 to 100 km per hour in just 5.1 seconds, with top speed rated at 250 km per hour. The car never loses its composure even at higher speeds, by the way. The inside is a familiar one, but there are some unique touches that make the S5 special. The matte brushed inlays add sportiness and sophistication to the cabin. Of course, the steering wheel has to be flat-bottomed, and it also houses controls for the music system, Bluetooth, and of course paddle shifters. The seats are draped in Alcantara upholstery, and customers have an option of going for the S Sport seats in the front that have S5 embossing. The car has a Bang & Olufsen sound system and Navigation Plus with a 17.78 cm color monitor. Other features include the parking system with a rear view camera. The S5 has 8 airbags. With a price tag of 62,92,000 rupees ex-showroom Delhi, the S5 is in a league of its own. It is the car to buy if you want a beast and a beauty then. And the price tag puts it marginally higher than the premium full-size sedans in that space anyway. It's a car that you can take to work, then to the track, and then shopping with your family. And yeah, if you're buying one, just throw logic out of the window and get it in this yellow. It'll certainly drive away your blues.
That is the new S5 from Audi. Please react to it. Now, I managed to drive up about 13 miles on the road to the top of Pikes Peak, but sadly, there's bad weather, and which means we've been stopped here. It doesn't look like it is glorious and sunny, but there's a lot of snow blowing around, and which is why we can't access the road further up, which is a little disappointing. But you know what? It's still gorgeous up here. The weather is fantastic, and I have a great view of the valley. So while I go and take a few pictures, let me tell you where Bala is. He's traveled all the way across to Japan for the Tokyo Motor Show. The motor show happens once every 2 years, and that is something we will have on the program for you next week. But while he's there, he's also had the chance to check out the new BRV from Honda. It's the compact SUV that arrives next year. Here's our first look at it.
As has become customary for Honda, we are back at the company's twin-ring Motegi circuit in Motegi, Japan to test the next model it will be bringing to India. Honda's big launch in 2016 will be this car, the BRV Compact SUV. The current rage for the Hyundai Creta might have died down a bit by then, and the BRV will look to make its own serious impression. The model we have tested in a very brief ride was not India spec, but it still gives us a good idea about what to expect on this car. Based on the same platform as the Amaze and Mobilio, which do look alike, the good news is that the compact SUV looks different. It doesn't look that compact after all, but instead looks long and tall. And so it's no surprise that the BRV boasts of a best-in-class wheelbase of 2,660mm. It also means a third row of seats, giving it a 7-seater status. The front is attractive with the new angular headlamps and an aggressive-looking bumper. The bumper has a scuff plate and chrome fog lamp housings.
So here it is then, the Honda BRV, the much-awaited compact SUV that is going to come to India sometime middle next year. It will be showcased at the Auto Expo. And this one that you see here, we're right now in Tokyo. We're just getting the prototype, the Indonesia spec model to drive, just to get a feel of what the BRV really offers. From a design point of view, it has a very tall stance, SUV kind of character all through, but from the side profile it reminds you a lot of the Mobilio in terms of the lines and the little chink here along the window line. But otherwise you've got roof rails, it sits nice and tall, and a nice long wheelbase that indicates there's lots and lots of space on the inside.
The all-black cabin looks like typical Honda trim really, so don't be surprised if it reminds you a bit of the Jazz. but the prototype we drove did have a more upmarket feel. There isn't anything here that you wouldn't have seen before, and we don't expect the India spec model to be very different. Space inside the cabin is aplenty, with generous amount of headroom even in the third row, which is a good counter to the Duster, isn't it?
So that third row seating is what the BRV is going to be boasting about for a while. So let's go inside and see what exactly space that Honda claims to be the best in terms of legroom and headroom actually is like on the inside. Must say it's much more roomier than what I expected. Decent amount of legroom, headroom is fairly sufficient, and you've got a nice window patch here, so it doesn't give you a sense of being cramped. And it's a nice third row to have, because that's going to be the biggest USP of the BRV. And you've got bottle holders, you've got a mobile phone holder, so lots of functional items as well here. So it isn't just meant for smaller children. I do expect that 2 adults can sit fairly comfortably here on the third row.
Our drive with the BRV was quite limited, but the prototype we drove had a 1.5-litre engine mated to the new generation CVT gearbox that comes on the Honda City. This CVT offers fairly smooth acceleration, ideal for city driving, and a decent petrol automatic is something this segment could use. But strangely for us, despite the slightly higher center of gravity, the driving impression felt less SUV-like and more MPV-like, especially with the long wheelbase. Honda will look to tweak the engines, especially the diesel, to offer a bit more SUV-like performance. So is the BRV worth waiting for? We definitely think it will stir the honeypot. A 7-seater compact SUV with impressive looks and generous space is something that will certainly get a lot of attention. And we cannot wait to fully test the India spec BRV very soon.
As the Honda BRV, now it could be a credible competitor to the Hyundai Creta. Please tell me how you like it. Let's take a short break here, but before we do that, a quick nugget of information on the great overland adventure. We have finished 21,000 kilometers on this journey around the world, but of course there's many more kilometers to go, and there's more coming up on CNB as well. Stay tuned. Welcome back to CNB. It is the first time we are seeing snow and experiencing this kind of weather on the great overland adventure, and which is why we're sort of being childlike with it. Let's move on now and talk about that rather ominous looking motorcycle. The Dark Horse from Indian is not just a new model, it's not just one with a hefty price tag, but there's more going for that bike. Bala rode it. Here's the review.
Indian Motorcycles designs its cruisers to be a bit intimidating, and each new motorcycle looks to outdo the other in flexing muscle. But then you have this. The new Dark Horse cruiser from the same family with a bit more attitude, not just pure muscle.
Now, full-blooded cruisers with little or less chrome is quite a rare sight these days, and that's why this Indian Dark Horse really stands out. You've got this nice matte black finish running across the fuel tank as well as across the headlamps, giving it a more classy look, little less bling to look at and also less intimidating. Also, you've got a nice cruising position, riding position, the handlebars that come within reach, and the switchgear also feels within reach. So on the highway, this feels nice and comfortable to ride on. Quite a perfect cruiser.
The instrument cluster with the analog speedometer and part digital meter is well located on top of the fuel tank. Chrome makes an appearance on the long exhaust, and there's a little bit on the fenders too. It mightn't look as intimidating as its sibling, but the Dark Horse is a 357 kilo heavy monster. The Indian Dark Horse comes alive with a strong thumping note as you turn on the ignition. The motorcycle eagerly leaps forward as you hit the highway, and it's capable of hitting 3-digit speeds in no time at all.
Thankfully, a powerful engine tames it with smooth acceleration and more than enough torque. But at slower speeds in city traffic, like most heavy cruisers, the weight really comes through, and that's not where this beauty deserves to be. It's out on the open road that this beauty transforms into the beast.
Over 100 bhp of maximum power is delivered ever so smoothly, and the 139 Nm torquey motor allows you to be comfortable in higher gears at low speeds. The 6-speed gearbox is smooth, and once you're out on the open highway, it involves very little shifting. The cruiser grips and brakes well, and the suspension manages to deal with patchy roads. The long wheelbase can make it a bit dicey to make sharp turns, but the Indian Dark Horse handles with confidence on wide turns. Priced at 21.99 lakh rupees ex-showroom Delhi, the Dark Horse is a full-blooded motorcycle that offers class with attitude with the regular cruiser experience. And clearly it is for the few who have not only the money, but also the inclination to tame this kind of a beast. Buying a car, new or pre-owned, is not an easy decision to make. So it's important to be completely sure of the vehicle, and if it is a pre-owned car, the vehicle's paperwork is as important as the product itself. These are the essential documents that the seller should share and hand over to make your buying decision easier. The registration certificate or RC gives you critical details of the car like the chassis number and engine number. In case the engine has been changed, make sure the RC reflects the new number so that you can get it transferred to your name easily. Please do check if the car's insurance is still valid or about to expire, and after the sale, the first thing to do is to get the insurance transferred from the seller's name to yours. In case the seller had taken a loan on the car, do get a copy of the no objection certificate that the bank has issued. Try and avoid cars which have a pre-existing loan on it, as the documentation work can increase. Other important documents include road tax receipt, pollution under control certificate, car purchase invoice and service records. So take your time with the pre-owned vehicle and its papers to ensure that your car buying decision guarantees peace of mind.
That is it for CNB this week. Please react to the program. Tell me what you would like to see on the show as well. And remember to tune into the Great Overland Adventure. That's 8:30 p.m. every Tuesday on NDTV Prime. Alright, the snow is really whipping up here, so I better go. Please wear your seatbelts. Please wear your helmets. I better get into something warm quickly. A special day with a special car. Your chance to get up close and personal with the i8. Just tell me where I drove the i8 when I reviewed it on CNB. All you have to do is tweet your answer with the CNB hashtag to me at Sid Partankar or post it on facebook.com/CNB show.